Hello. Hey everybody, how y'all doing? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you, wherever you are, whatever time it is when you listen to this. Welcome to my channel. All right, so I'm about to do the Life Path 8 reading. All right, Life Path 8 is what we working on right now, y'all. In order to calculate your life path, what you need to do is add up all of the numbers for your birthday and you reduce it down, right? If it comes to a single number between 1 and 9, you don't have anything else to worry about. If it comes to an 11, 22, 33, or 44. 44 isn't necessarily that common, but it can happen from time to time. Then those are considered master numbers and you don't reduce it down any further. All right. During the life path readings, we talk about a lot of different situations that will be going on in regards to different situations, not necessarily according to zodiac signs, right? But you do want to pay attention to if one comes up, it comes up. We'll be calling out planets and all those different things. All right. So pay attention to those different influences if it comes up and comes out in a reading. Now, Life Path 8, right? Not to be confused, and I feel it necessary to say, not to be confused with your destiny path. Your destiny path and your life path are two completely different things. Okay. But Life Path 8 is one of abundance, right? Abundance, fruitfulness, fertility, and making sure you get a good understanding of what it is that goes on with you as an individual and how you handle abundance. Yeah, because if you handle abundance, you can have an abundance of good or an abundance of bad. It can go either way, right? In regards to that. So we're going to kick into this. We're going to start off with the Murder of Crows deck, right? The different spiritual contracts and possible physical contracts it is that you can have going on to, with, and for you. All right? All right. So not all readings are going to resonate with everyone. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. That simply means that this reading isn't for you, all right? And if it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. Just 'cause that's how you want it doesn't mean it will be so. If it don't fit, don't force it. Do not force it. But if it does, don't ignore it. All right? All right. Yeah, because during these readings, you can be completely honest with yourself. All right, you don't have to worry about nobody else. This is going to be all about what's going on to and with you. So one of the things it is that is immediately showing face, right, with it would be about this. For the mediumship aspect, it'll be a passed over loved one, or and with the passed over loved one, it could even be a situation that would have taken place with a person you no longer deal with. So it could be dealing in a karmic essence as well. But what it is that goes on within financial abuse and codependency. Codependency and codependent. Some of it will be about children. Some of it will be about different addictions that could possibly go on. And the other portion of it will be about 9 years. Right? For the alchemical aspect, it'll be about what it is within being financially stable and being independent. The other part, I'm hearing something about records. An independent record. With being an you want to know something ironic that comes into place with that? Yeah, because if you're talking about, yeah, if it's like that whole for the record situation, yeah, some of it, what I'm getting from it is, yeah, if you're just doing stuff for the record or you're recognizing something, the other portion of it will be about what goes on in the financial abuse 9 years ago, and how a person would have identified themselves as karmic or passed away 9 years ago and not having movement. It's given what it is to be stuck in a ghost loop. Yeah. Now I'm saying because this is presenting itself in a couple different ways, like Path 8. And the whole ghost loop aspect, it'll be about, like I said, with the whole repeat offenders, right? People that you would have ghosted, you would have to go back to. Is the movie with Matthew McConaughey, and he sees all of his girlfriends, so to speak. And one of the things that kind of troubled me when I seen that was the time frame. It is that they said that it constituted as a girlfriend. Yeah, because they had one chick on there that was like for 1 minute. Another chick that was on there for that was on there for like 5 minutes. It's one of those, there's no way in hell you can constitute yourself as being ghosted or really being in a relationship with someone and it was only for 1 minute. That's some delusional shit. I don't care what you say. But in any event, the other part of it, right, in the alchemical aspect, it'll be about the financial stability and independence. There, one having movement, and within one not having movement, there being rejection, and what it is in a spiritual contract or physical contract that will come with the spirit of what it is that one will put attention into within one being balanced, within one being balanced and one having balance, and what's just and justice. Yeah, it's giving that whole. It's the contract of life path 8. You need to pay attention to whether or not your spiritual contracts align with your physical contracts. Is what that's giving, and the fact that justice, right? Justice being a feminine aspect and how it should change over time is what I'm getting from it. Because you have to balance the truth of what's being presented with the spiritual aspect, and how in the spirit that's where the balance actually comes from. And then one not pausing, one not stopping, one not healing, right? Yeah, one not having to heal. And some of this shit is going to be about what it was that would have taken place 4 days ago. This is also giving what constitutes, it's giving the air, AIR. And I'm also hearing, and I'm also seeing the letters, HEIR, of reconciliation. What, yeah, ensure who it is you would have talked to about a reconciliation. And who gets the actual reconciliation versus who doesn't. Yeah, who gets to reconcile versus who doesn't get to reconcile. And there being this manifestation, communication, or the magician aspect, and what it is to be a magician. Yeah, here's the deal that comes into place with magicians and illusions, and y'all be killing me with this shit. I promise you do. The heavy reliability upon technology in order to create an illusion. And how at the end of the day, it's going to be about what really happened, not what it is that would have been projected. And in this manifestation, having all of the elements necessary. Now, here's the deal. Yeah, to create something. For the earth and the situation portion. For the earth, you will have these 9 seeds. The air, it would be the 10 swords, and the water, it would be the 4 of cups. And when a person only manifests, yeah, why you only manifest shit when you disappointed? That's the wrong emotion to put into it. Yeah, because your manifestations will come into place because you're disappointed. You're disappointed or you rejected. So that's going to cause for you to be rejected. That's what you really manifest. And one would really manifest the emotion opposed to what it is that they will want. Yeah, so check your feelings. That's probably the reason why in a lot of the different readings when Saturn wouldn't come up, whether it was retrograde or upright is irrelevant. What you would have put out there based out of the emotion you had with putting it out there is the reason why you would have the situations going on that would be going on. Okay? No, because somebody must have seen what I had posted about what one man won't do, another one will. And and the anger that'll come into place with it is somebody else helps you when it was your responsibility. It's kind of what I'm getting from that. And then there being the whole balance and the justice being a lie, with one not healing. The other portion of it is the whole aspect of non-reciprocation. In short, it's because the question of it is that is coming right now is, how are you able to get what you need if I'm not paying you? Well, mind your business and mind your pockets. It's pretty much what that boils down to. So it's that part. Next. Yeah, no, I'm serious. And on life, within being abundant, you can't tell everybody your business. about how it is you get what you get. As long as you pay attention to whether or not you as an individual, if it's claimable on your taxes, basically is what that boils down to. The other portion of it being within the knowing more that comes into place with love, right? Yeah, okay, I'm just, how am I supposed to help you if I don't know what you need? Paying attention to what basic needs are is pretty much what that boils down to. And then there being the underground element of one's actions or one's inaction within things being revealed of one not being heartbroken. Now what would come in would be the heartbreak, right? The tower moment of the tower moment of one coming in with their inspiration and hiding their heartache. Yeah, how one would, yeah, the love aspect would be how one would know that a person could hide their heartache. And they're not in love and indecision. And sure how a person would hide that they can't make their mind up. They don't know what choice to make, so to speak. That's craziness. Now, cause Life Path 8, what this is giving is part of it is the whole mutable madness that'll come into place when Libra steps into its dynamic of actually being like the mechanism portion, right? Because it has to be stable. The base of a scale is stable while things are weighed on each side. But in the creation of the scale, it has to be balanced. The scale itself has to be even all around. Like you can't, when you making like the actual plates to the scale, so to speak, you can't have one side of a plate thicker than the other. It's given that whole, I had posted it a really long time ago, but with like making money, not making financial money, going to work and collecting a check, but no, the actual process that comes with making currency, right? And how if you get, how at one point pennies had more copper in them than they did nickel in them, but it's still only worth a penny, regardless of the mineral it is that's used. I hope that helps. I really hope that helps. That's the only thing I got for it, y'all. I'm not trying to completely rush through the readings, but I do want to go ahead and get them done because it's been a minute. I've been meaning to get this finished for a while. All right. All right. So some of the other things you want to pay attention to, right? There being the mature woman and the alchemical aspect, of what it is to be mature and to change in marriage. Change the commitment. One's immaturity that comes with changing the commitments. I'm hearing prematurity. Yeah, how everybody ain't in marriage. No, because what is given when a person is married, it's no longer that other person's. Marriage is a partnership. Let's go ahead and kick into this, okay? Marriage is a partnership, just like a business relationship. It's equal parts. If you only bring in 50 and the other person only bringing 50, then you missing 100. Both people put 100% into it. Now, if you want to say that their 100% is only 50%, or you're only putting in 50% of the situation, then you may need to reevaluate what it is that you really constitute as a general makeup for a partnership, because that leaves 50% for you to do something else. You go to work, you put in 100%, even if it's spread out over the course of days. At the end of the week, it's 100%. Yeah, people want the all in. Yeah, people want you to be all in until they have to be all in. That's the narcissism that comes into place. So it's one of those, I want you all in. Okay, well, are you all in? Ask yourself that question before you present it for someone else or to someone else. All right. Yeah, life path, especially when you're talking about abundance, because like I just said, you can get an abundance of bad, or you can get an abundance of good, but they still both require and meet the expectation for abundance, right? Now, in this marriage aspect, or in this commitment aspect, it would change from the commitment to being a lover, giving Gemini essence. Oh yeah, and how Gemini and Libra essence come out the same. And what goes on with the whole mature man aspect. And one of the things that unfortunately can happen, yeah, because what it's given is, it was stated before, but yeah, j- everybody that has gray didn't earn it. Some people dye their hair those colors, right? Yeah, especially if you're looking at it for the aspect of when you get older, you automatically get grays. You'll be amazed. Not everybody grays at the same pace. So it's that part. Then within being the privileged lady, and there being the child thief. So new beginning of these other portions, it'll be about the privileges that come into place with one, a new beginning being stolen, or a beginning being stolen. The other portion of it will be, yeah, about kidnapping, orphanages and shit like that. Yeah, in short, you need to pay. What I'm getting from this life path 8 is you need to pay attention to everything it is that will go on within being a privileged lady. Yeah, because if you're trying to destiny swap with a privileged lady and you don't even know what their responsibilities are, you just, yeah, that's that ignorant cousin Levi. Y'all better leave him alone. Let Levi be. Let Levi be. Yeah, because he'll get y'all messed up so bad, it's ridiculous. All right, let's get these. Yeah, let's get these animal messages real quick. Overall essence of wolf or pathfinder. This is a lot of animals. You got, yeah, so this means it's going to be across the globe. Yeah, because I know some of these have African ancestry attached to them, like giraffe, giraffe or visionary, bee community, and do you know the secret life of bees? And however the fuck it is you want to put that. Yeah, because in the secret life of bees, it'll be about the things that would have been that were hidden, and knowing more that was hidden and didn't get talked about a whole lot within a person being a bitch, and why a person would have been called a bitch. That's that Tupac song, right? But not everybody gets the understanding behind it. I used to love that song, You Wonder Why They Call You Bitch, by Tupac, because he lists different qualities of what would have constituted as being a bitch and being bitchiness then. Now, on the other hand, Nicki Minaj, she did do a really good job of depicting how it's a false representation to call a woman a bitch because she in her boss era. You can't call her a bitch because you can't walk all over her. Part one. Part two, you can't call, yeah, you could call her a bitch all you want to, but within that whole calling her a bitch, that's what you calling out. You want her to be yeah, you calling out what it is you want them to be. And not everybody can handle that, especially if you're really sensitive. I don't suggest people do that. So, thief, right? Bee community, unicorn, infinite possibilities, lizard regeneration, and in a secret life of bees, there being multiple types of bees. Puffin, partnership, personal choice, and bison. All right, this is how I'm finna do this. Yeah, it's windy. Is this about Wendy Williams and her gossiping ass and all this? Y'all do too much. Yeah, she don't do very much fact checking. She just goes off of personal opinion. No, cuz what's coming to me is when she fell out of nowhere and she had on that Statue of Liberty thing. Yeah, being a gossip queen and not having no facts, that's not a good thing to be. To always, quote unquote, have all the tea. Yeah, no, having all the tea is not a good idea. because you may have all the tea, but you won't have no general makeup of how the tea was created. You might want to pay attention to that too. All right, so there's that portion. Giraffe and visionary. Rise above earthly matters, glide through life with grace. You're able to see the right path, stand tall in your self worth and love with a big heart. What this is giving is the adaptation of a giraffe. It started off as a horse, and because the environment changed and it had to stretch its neck out to get the food source that best provided nourishment for its body, that's why its neck is long now. So how well do you adapt is what that's going to be about. Then there being the bee community, you are a powerful creator. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen of abundance. Unicorn, infinite possibilities. You pause, and the other portion about this is going to be about what happens with people saying that one is a unicorn. Yeah, the unicorn and uniqueness, and how one always has to disprove things. Okay, Life Path 8, I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't know how many people, yeah, this is for Life Path 8 and cross watchers, because I know it's going to be some cross watchers. I'm going to go ahead and say this. Just because you don't believe it's true or it would have happened don't mean it's not, because it's not true or it didn't happen. Part 1. Part 2, a unicorn is mentioned in the Bible, which automatically lets one know that there were other types of creatures that could have and would have gone underground and been hidden. So, fix that and work that out. Yeah, for you people who don't like any type of, it's not even necessarily magic or mysticism. Wonder. That's what it is. Any wonder in your life. Or you always associate wonder and wonderment with witchcraft and things of that nature, part 1, and part 2 with what it is that happens and goes on with one being unique. It's one of those, yeah, how people would have to be cookie cutter, and don't nobody want to be cookie cutter because y'all cookie cutters sucks. What it does, the little cookie cutter and mass production it is that y'all have, it fucking sucks. Big titties, small ass waist that can kill you. Y'all do know that those proportions can kill y'all if your body ain't shaped for them right. I was literally just reading, or, well, I wasn't reading it, I was watching it as a documentary on a woman whose waist was 16 inches motherfucking around. 16 inches. No. Yeah, looking like a goddamn lollipop. That shit don't look, that's not helpful, and that's not a Betty Boop type of situation. Your proportion, and in that regard, if you eating something, pay attention to the proportions you eat. That's all it, yeah. Because a person can eat all, y'all ain't ever paid attention to the people who do, it's coming up with the food portion, yeah. Because I'm seeing the one dude who, he was as thin as a pole, and he could eat people out of house and home. So very serious. He was the national, I don't know if it's called a marathon eater or what, but he was the national champion for it. Possibly even international. But in any event, let me kick back to this. All right, unicorn, infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. What this is giving is how a person would have been in, how you would be in the dark for too long. And how one would believe that darkness reflects being outside of social media, whereas, yeah, and people, the automatic assumption that the light body has to be being in the spotlight. That's not where your light body is. Your light body is what happens in your 3D day to day. That's the light body. You'll get more shadow shit that happens on social media than anything. Lizard, regeneration. Here's the alligator and the lizard stuff that would have been coming up. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. And how when one would come cut something off, cut something out, and it was regrow back. In regards to this, with the, yeah, how one would cut a partnership off and then it would just come right back. No, the other part of it will be about like with roots and stuff like that. Puffin partnership. Accept yourself and your colorful personality. Feel confident about being you. You are a joy bringer. Let your community nourish and protect you. Ask for help. Teamwork will give you the best results. Here's the deal that comes into place with all of this that I just read. And for the record, when you ask certain people for help, unfortunately, it's not about them reminding you that you helped or nothing like that. But when you ask people for help, some people, when you ask them for help, it's the equivalent of selling your fucking soul to them. Because they see it as that's not a hyper independent situation. That's a genuine situation that happens in some of these different types of spiritual contracts, especially if you're dealing like with the vampirism and all of that other stuff. Yeah, so within building a team, you have to make sure there's an anchoring that comes into place with building a team. You can't anchor shit only in social media and only in the spirit. People don't honor that. So that's that part. The personal choice, right, that comes into place. Close your eyes. What animal do you imagine? What strengths are they known for? What wisdom do they share? And embrace these qualities. Before you make a personal choice, what this is given, especially with this following of the bison and sacred buffalo and things of that nature. Yeah, I got a story for it, right? Bison abundance, sacred buffalo. Cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and power. One of the things it is that happened and took place, right, when I was on my way to Atlanta the second time. I did this reading and I saw, yeah, and from Colorado on. So yeah, that's for that whole literal aspect that could come into place when it's speaking to not only the literal portion but the figurative portion as well. You have to be intelligent enough to depict what's going on in which arena. So there's that portion, and that's your personal choice. Because if you always want to make it literal, yeah, that'll be part of the issues it is that you have that will go on between being literal and being figurative. And if you always literal with stuff, then it will literally be whatever emotion it is you put into it. All right, so there's that portion. Let's see what's clearing out real quick. I'm gonna straighten this up too. Yeah, in the alchemical aspect, it'll be about the truths that come in with when you can identify what your spirit animals are and the different heartaches and over the course of 3 days and how it is that one will hide whether or not they're emotionally intelligent. Oh, nah, cuz what this is gonna talk about is gentlemen, how the older gentleman did tell, yeah, a man really does know how he feel about a situation. Yeah, it's the quote unquote toxic aspect of a man really knowing how he feel about the situation and how he would mask it in order to get what they want in the manipulations. So it's that. So what it is that will be clearing out. Yeah, when a person be like, well, I don't know how I feel about that. It's one of those you do know exactly how you feel about it. Just say whatever it is that you would feel about it. And when you say what it is that you feel about it and you got all of the lies that would come out, having no facts. Having abundance of lies versus having an abundance of facts. Yeah, when people don't believe the actual truth of a situation. Yep. And then one not reporting the indecision, one not reporting the decision. The decision is a personal choice. Life path 8. You don't have to tell all your business. That's what I loved about people back in the day. They knew how to keep business separate from romance. If you're dealing with a person in business only, it should be just business only. So your ass shouldn't be doing no fucking love spells. You doing a love spell is the fastest way to fuck up your business. You know why? Because you're putting an emotional connection, a fleeting emotional connection into it. Because for a lot of people, the love shifts and changes. That's why it's considered fleeting. And whether or not a person likes you is just as fleeting. If a person loves you, as far as like the business aspect, yeah, because you can love your a competitor, so to speak. If you're a competitive person, you can love competition. You have love of family. You have romantic love. You all, yeah, you have attachment love, which is linked to family, but it's not necessarily family oriented alone. You get some, yeah, it's the same relationship that would be developed when you're dealing with celebrities, when you see them out and about all the time. And when I say when you see them out and about all the time, like, say for instance, Nicole Kidman versus old girl who played in Two Broke Girls. You be attached to her as a yes, typecast. Yeah, and the whole typecasting that'll come into place with things. So there's that portion, and then one being able uh, to offer a small token of stability. One of the things that I noticed with the small token of stability is it and friendship. Yeah, what it is one would give a friend versus what it is one would give a lover. It's kind of what I'm getting from that. And the emotional intelligence, yeah, that comes with I don't know what to give a friend. I don't know what to give my friend. Okay, I guess. And then there being the hangman. The projections, Neptune, check your Neptune site, the cycles, right? And the suspense of the emotional connections, not emotional, spiritual connections and childlike essence ending and being a betrayal in regards to the King of Pentacles, in regards to one's stability and the intelligence of one being emotionally stable. In short, the King of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. What it means, yeah, I'm saying pentacles, but it's given pentacles, Pinnacles. So pay attention to, yeah, at what's at the top of it. The other part that is kind of giving me is with the whole food chain aspect. Yeah, the equivalent of, it would be like the store. Oh, okay. To shift one of the narratives it is that keeps being presented, depending on what level you are at. What it is that happened with the mouse and the lion, the correlation in that story. Yeah, sometimes you have to, or not you have to be. Being big doesn't solidify, or it doesn't validate. That's what it is. It's about validation, right? Because the mouse is small, but it's the hero in this story, right? It saves the lion. The lion realistically could have eaten the fucking mouse, and he would have messed himself up had he eaten that mouse, because who was gonna get the little thorn out of? Yeah, he couldn't get the thorn out of his paws. He had to enlist the assistance of someone smaller, but was more knowledgeable. In short, it's about the morals, morality, and common sense. Is pretty much what I'm getting from it. All right, so we're gonna do a quick little summarization. Overall, within there being an understanding of either, well, for the alchemical aspect, the incoming reciprocation, and what it is that would have taken place 6 years ago with the mature man. 6 years ago, within the love of one being mature and knowing what it is to release your past and start a new journey. You are a teacher and help others find their way. This is the whole hermit essence that comes into place when you on the path of the hermit versus being on the fool's path. You are a teacher and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. Yeah, in short, oh my God, I hate whenever I hear that damn terminology. No, because every person it is that I ever known to say shit like long haul. Them motherfuckers intentionally fuck shit up because they feel like you gonna be around for a while. And then they get so damn surprised when you don't want shit else to do with them. A long haul don't necessarily, they don't even sound fun, y'all. It doesn't. Have you ever had to pick up something really fucking heavy and carry it for a really long damn time? I did that shit while I was down in Atlanta. Took one of the biggest bags I had, filled that bitch up, and had to carry it with me every damn where. That shit's not fun at all, to have to carry that much shit on a regular basis just because somebody wants you to be around for a long time. And you're not training for shit. That also gives the attitude, the attitude and altitude that comes with a person believing that putting a lot of pressure on you is going to be what them putting a lot of pressure on you individually is what's going to help you. Yeah, that falsity that comes in a place with iron sharpening iron, but when you meet a person and they already are sharpened by the iron. And fighting temptations. The fighting temptations that come into place with it, where she said, when she was being criticized, mocked, and ridiculed for having a child out of wedlock. And sure, a lot of people like to put the shit off on the feminine essence, but they don't hold the masculine essence accountable. Me personally, just because it's a majority of toxic feminine essences or a majority of toxic masculine essence, that doesn't mask the fact that there are still those who are actually trying to do what they need to do. There's a difference between intentionally fucking up and making a mistake. It being an accident. If you make if it's an accident, then it's just an accident. If it's not, if you knew what you was doing under whatever guise, you gotta fix that. I hope that helps y'all. All right, I'm gonna close and seal and lock in this reading. I'm hoping it helped you guys out just a little bit, gave you a tad bit of an inclination as to a few different things it is that will be going on. If you'd like to schedule your own personal touch of clarity, you are more than welcome to do so at lightworkandlightworkllc@gmail.com. All right. Because see, remember, light work, it ain't like work. It is not light work. It's not like work, y'all. And that's why you have to stay light while you work.